Each of my incarcerations have involved alcohol and drugs. Started experimenting with alcohol and drugs at the age of 15.
There's 51,000 inmates in Ohio's prisons. They're all overcrowded.
And I'm talking from all walks of life that's wanting to change, but sometimes don't know how to change, don't know who to connect to change.
You got a choice to make, either be bitter or better.
This is my 4th prison number. I'm here currently for aggravated robbery, inappropriate relationships, inappropriate experiences at a very young age.
You must be the initiator to your change.
I didn't respond to those circumstances the way a competent, mature adult would.
What changed your life?
What changed my life? The day my mama passed.
Tell me what you were in for.
Aggravated burglary, felony 1.
What's one thing you want to change in your life? One thing. Criminal thinking?
Wasn't liking who I was in the mirror.
What it is not responding to the other things that are happening in my life, trying to medicate with drugs and alcohol and a life that was already unmanageable.
51,000 inmates.
They are afraid of success because they've never succeeded. It's something that they've never had any experience with.
The community-based programs are full. Currently, there are community-based programs. There's no money to increase those community-based programs.
Can I tell you something, men and women? That change that you spoke about, that change that you desire, I'm here. We're here to tell you it can happen. Despite your past, despite your failures, your shortcomings, your fears, even your lustful desires, and we all have some. Despite all that, men and women, you can have it.
With this group, I'm hopeful that we're successful in trying to get a message over to the business community about those offenders who are returning home after they've served their sentence and are in need of employment that provides them with a quality of life, and that as a part of that, they are tooled and retooled to be able to step up to the plate, to accept the responsibilities of being citizens in this community.
The City of Toledo is more than happy to be participating in this program because we are also involved in the Reentry Coalition, and we think that this program has the potential to add a very, very important component to that program that's already in place.
I'm a businessman in Northwest Ohio, and I've been involved in trying to help our community for years, and I'm excited to actually see a group come together that's a kind of cross-functional team here that's committed to make a difference in the community. And I think that we actually have the seeds of something here that we could see 10, 15, 20 years from now. Actually, we can look back and say this Genesis created a significant change in our community. So I'm glad to be part of it.
I believe that the church has got the answers to the social problems affecting America today. And what I'd like to see is be involved in bringing the solutions of heaven to the problems of our nation. This coalition, bringing together people from the business world and from the Reentry Coalition and from social services and city government, working together to try to create an environment where we can take broken men with broken lives and help put the parts back together again.
My name is Bill Zuhairi. I'm a dentist, and I've worked in the Toledo area in private practice since 1972, and I've always wanted to make a difference in whatever I did in life. I've had an experience that has kind of given me a change in my mission in life over the last couple of years. What we're trying to do is put together a lifestyle change where we could bring people into an environment for 24/7 for an extended period of time, maybe a year, maybe a year and a half. And during this time, they would be fed, clothed, housed. They would create a manufacturing base where they could earn their keep, so to speak, and also be trained on other aspects of society. I'm amazed over the years, I've met people that I've been involved in discipling, and I was teaching them things, and say they're 35, 40 years of age, I was teaching them things that I taught my son when he was 5 years old. And they missed it because they didn't grow up in a two-parent functional family where the father was home at night and they had dinner as a family, and maybe they read scripture together, but they just had an environment of love and acceptance and security. They didn't have that.
I'm Mark Vosselishin. I am the sheriff of Wood County, Ohio. I think it'd be fantastic for the faith-based community to get involved and mentor people who are getting out of prison or getting out of jail, and helping to steer them and guide them so that they don't go back into their old habits, their old environment, not having any hope for their future. And I think that's what also happens, that they get out of prison, they get out of jail, and it's like, I'm not going to be able to get a job because of my record, so I might as well go back to the life that I know, which may be the criminal world.
I'm retired Judge Richard Knepper. I spent 15 years in the Lucas County Common Pleas Court. And in those lower degree, third and fourth degree felonies, nonviolent criminal, to 85% of those individuals committed offenses while they were under the influence of drugs or alcohol. A lot of them have such negative self-talk that they are afraid of success because they've never succeeded. It's something that they've never had any experience with.
My name is Jeffrey Lingo, and I am the Criminal Division Chief for the Lucas County Prosecutor's Office. I have seen personally prosecuted the grandfather in a case, the father, and a son. So you see this, it's almost a family of people involved in criminal activity. It's very difficult for those people to find a job, a meaningful job. They may, again, and I'm not downgrading McDonald's or fast food jobs, they may be able to find a job at a place like that, but to actually find a job with meaning and to give you a good set of skills, I think is very difficult for anybody, and especially difficult for convicted felons. It gives you a sense of worth, you know, and a lot of these people that I deal with don't have a sense of self-worth. They're hopeless. They may come from a family that's just very dysfunctional. They may have grown up in a single-parent home, so they don't have that family to fall back on. And we see generations of people families that we work with who haven't been employed for years. They are on government assistance. They do not have any kind of job skills, and we see that generation after generation. House Bill 86 is actually making it more difficult for the common pleas judges to send inmates to jail. I'm sorry, to prison. It is, in paper it sounds good. What they're trying to do is encourage community-based programs for people who would otherwise be going to prison. So kind of the lower level prison inmates. This is really going to help the state of Ohio because it would significantly decrease the number of people being sent to prison, but it's putting the burden on our local counties. And part of the problem is going to be the community-based programs are full currently. There are community-based programs. There's no money to increase those community-based programs. The state of Ohio is clearly mandating a local-based program, and it's an unfunded mandate. There's no money that goes along with it.
I think there's a need for a sheltered community that they can get out of all of the crime surrounding them and be mentored and be shown this is possible. Or through Christ all things are possible. That's the motto of this state. The state of Ohio has on its seal, through God all things are possible. and we don't live by that.
There are probation officers carrying hundreds of cases. There's no way they can actually properly supervise those people. They see them maybe once a month, sometimes once every couple weeks. We cannot depend on the government to do everything because the government can't address all the issues. So I think we have to go back to what we used to do hundreds of years ago, and that is the community as a whole, including the religious community or spiritual community has to be involved, because that's one thing I really see lacking in a lot of the people that come through this system, is that there is no addressing of that spiritual void that people have.
I would really have to say it was rare that they had any consistent Christian or wholesome spiritual influence in their lives. It was so rare that I can't think of any offhand of the thousands of cases that I handled.
Well, the spiritual element I think is important for them to really know that they are loved, they're cared for, and having that guidance in that direction.
My name is Larry Thompson. I was born and raised in Akron, Ohio. Currently 50 years old. I was born in 1960. This is my fourth prison number. I'm here currently for aggravated robbery.
So what's the total number of years you've been incarcerated?
Approximately 18. There is evil people, and I've met them. But most of these men are not evil people. They are people who done some very stupid mismanagements, powerless things on drugs and alcohol that if with the right help and the right programs, that these men want to remain free, they want to live.
Probably 80% of the people that are in prison are not evil. They have offended society by breaking its rules and laws, but the problem is when it comes to knowing how not to offend, their life has not given them the tools to understand how not to offend.
Good times can be just as dangerous for us as bad times. We become just as vulnerable. When the times were hard, I did very well. I stood up to the challenge. It's when I had a brand new pickup truck and plenty of money in my wallet to go anywhere I wanted in the country or whatever, buy whatever I wanted, that I thought I was okay now.
Hi, my name's Joe Hefflinger, and I'm involved in the prison ministry here in Toledo. And it's kind of a one-man show, and it's called Restored Hope Prison Ministry, and involves sending inmates Bibles into the prison, visiting inmates, and also writing inmates who are in prison. And some of them are murderers, some of them are pedophiles, and some of them, bank robbers, whatever. But I guess I just overlook it and separated the sin from the sinner, and saw them as God's people. They love Jesus, they love the Lord, they go to church every Sunday, they are in Bible studies, they think the way I do, they do the same things I do, they're just locked up.
With no family left alive this time, and doing what I've done in my life, these gentlemen have made me believe that I was still valuable, that there was some redeemable quality in me, that there was hope for a future. And the mentoring that these men gave me was, they loved me until I felt lovable. They showed me I was valuable till I realized I felt valuable, to them, and their encouragement, and it made me hold on. Once again, I'm doing, without people like Tim Milligan, he doesn't understand how profound impact he's had on my life. Joe and Tom, when I got out of prison, the one thing I want to say is, it's not what we know, what skills we have, what talents we have. It's the people in our lives that make a difference.
Michael Hampton. Went to prison in 2006, first time at 53. My first number going to prison. I went to prison, I went sentenced for domestic violence. My mom had passed, and I kind of snapped on a bad relationship, and was sentenced to 2 years in prison. One guy, he was like the quartermaster in the laundry, but he seen something in me too. You know, when I first went to prison, the first guy I seen in CRC told me, he pulled me to the side and said, "You're too old for this." At 53, yeah, you're right. And once you go there, you make adjustment, you fit in, that's your environment now. But this one, he was the quartermaster in the laundry, and we would always talk. And he told me something that stuck with me. You know, he said, "Mike, you got a lot of potential. You just don't know it. You got to bring it out." I never forget when I was going home, he gave me a little party, just me and him, and got me cheeseburgers and french fries. You know, congratulations, Mike, but don't ever come back. And it stuck with me.
There is right and wrong. But individuals need a model of a person that can show them this is right and this is wrong. And I think it's our job to demonstrate that to a non-believing world, that this is the gift that love offers you, that Jesus and that God offers you, if you'll just accept it. We're here to help you to accept that love. All believing Christians are specially called to love their neighbor as themselves. Jesus said the two greatest commandments are love God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and the second one is love your neighbor as yourself.
Listen, do you listen? Do you hear my words for more than ink? My phrases, simple phrases, so complex and hard to make you think, to make you